Hey guys, so this is some commentary on a film that I did music and sound for called Breaking the Ice. It's me talking with the animator James from Beavermedia, and we're just pretty much just going to talk about what our roles were in the film, him doing the animation and our process and kind of what we did and how we did some of the things, just going in depth on that. But I hope you guys enjoy. Hey guys, I'm Ryan. I did the sounds for this film Breaking the Ice, done by James
Beavers.
Beavers,
That's me.
That's his last name.
I did basically, well, I did all of it really.
Yeah, he did all the animation for this film called Breaking the Ice. It's all 3D and it's a beautiful film, I must say.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So James came up to me. I think I was on vacation somewhere, and he messaged me on Skype, and he goes, "Hey, you want to do the sounds for this film I'm working on?" And I'm just like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And then little did I know that I had one day to do it as soon as I got back, because he had a deadline for your class, right, in your film festivals.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, and where did you submit to, by the way? Like, where did you put
right
this?
now, I think it's only submitted to one because we had to do the whole festival down in London. But it's submitted it to, I think it's International Chicago's International Film Festival. I think it's there right now.
Wait, so it's going to be played at Chicago then?
I think so. It was under judgment. They were saying that, but they haven't got back any further information yet.
Yeah, and your teachers really loved the project, right? They said it was like some of the better stuff they've seen.
Yeah, it got like the highest mark in my uni course. I think the highest that a third year project had gotten was 88, and that's out of 100. And this one got 94, so...
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
well,
I think
congrats.
it was the high. Yeah, breaking
let's be
records.
honest. I mean, I think it was the sounds more.
Oh yeah, it was totally. It's the penguins flop and everything, and the snow.
Yeah, so I can put on my resume that I have a 94 mark from
Northumbria University. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess we could just go over a little bit of how the sounds were created. I'll just start since
you take that.
Yeah. So. And if you have any questions, man, just let me know.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know how much I filled you in on this.
I'm sure we got plenty.
So basically, obviously the snow. I'm in Florida, so there's no snow around me. For the footsteps or the sliding of the seal, and I just went outside and I recorded grass footsteps, and I just processed them enough and kind of made them shorter because they're smaller animals, so I figured it wouldn't be as heavy as a human footstep would be. So I kind of just took the tail end of those and I just recorded those and went with it. And it worked out pretty well. Unfortunately for this entire film, I only had a day to do it.
Yeah. So not my fault there.
Yeah, but I only had a day to do it. Obviously the expectations weren't as high, but I did the best I could. So
yeah, you did really, really good. Like,
thank you, I appreciate that.
When we were showing it, I think it was one of my mates was just like, "Wow, the sounds are really good," and I was like, "Yeah, they're totally mine."
I did them.
I did it all. He's not here.
Did the other members in your class have a sound designer or a musician do it for them, or did they kind of just do it themselves?
No, it's basically you just. I think with every project, it's like go to freesound.org and just download everything.
And I'm sure that's what you used for before.
Yeah, pretty much. If I didn't like make it myself, I would just type in there and download it.
Nice, that's awesome. So I made almost. In terms of sound, I almost recorded everything. The two things, I think, the seal bark and the wind, right? Those are you gave me those sounds.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay. Those were the two sounds that you gave me.
I found.
Yeah. It's interesting because as I was working on the sounds, I had the footsteps in there and I had the obvious sounds like some of the ice cracking, the water movement, the footsteps, and I might have said that already, but the ambient sounds, and I realized one thing that was really important. The penguin the movement that he makes, like just adding sounds to those, just immersed it, like just added the level of immersion to a whole new level. I don't know if I showed it to you beforehand, but the penguin without the penguin sounds, like his movement sounds when he like flaps his arms or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like without that, it was just so empty, and it just wasn't like, I don't know what the word is, like it just didn't connect that well, I guess. It seemed like it was just a out of this world kind of thing. It wasn't good though. Bottom line. But so I recorded a rubber glove.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, I recorded a rubber glove for all of the penguin sounds. I don't know. I saw his arm. I liked it. I think it worked really well, especially with like the flappy arms and stuff. I mean, he just kind of has like a rubber he just looked floppy, I guess. And I thought that.
Oh, that's good. That's my animation coming across there.
Yeah, there you go. So we both did pretty good.
Yeah, I'd
say so. I mean, 94 percentile. That's pretty good. Music. You had me. What happened? You wanted me to change something.
Yeah.
Remember?
I think when it was in the research stage of this project, I'd found it was a piece of music that was like Universal's own, so like they had the copyrights and everything to that.
Okay, so you couldn't use it.
I couldn't use it. No way. I guess I could have used it in like it's educational, so I think there's like rules against that. But if it's commercial and there's any like money or anything made from that, then it's a definite no.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I thought anyway.
Yeah, so you sent me the music and the feel. I mean, I tried to capture that the best I could. Like, I mean, I'd like to.
No, I thought like it's similar but not at the same time.
Yeah,
you put a different kind of like.
The one thing that you did that like that actually made the music like way better, in my opinion. I remember I sent you one music piece for the beginning part with
yeah, that's right. And
the cute penguin, yeah, and yeah. I made a different ending and I sent that to you. It was like a bigger like kind of Hollywood score, but then you took the first part, which was a little bit more melancholy and somber, and you put that on the end, and it just worked a million times better than what
I was like, you gave me that, and I put it in the start, and I thought, actually, no, I think I put it straight at the end, and I was like, right, this away. Works really well.
Yeah, no, it did. It worked way better. I love it worked so much better as a sadder ending. I mean, I had like the big like. Yeah,
that's right. Like really picked up. Like it got this really grand score, and it's like just a penguin floating down.
yeah, and I think like leaving on the sadder note. I mean, that kind of made it a lot better. Do you want to talk about the story of it, by the way?
Yeah, in my head,
I guess it's open for interpretation by
whoever. It is,
yeah.
Originally, when it was in the research stages and animatics, I had like they got to the end of the ocean, and there was going to be this like killer whale going to be there, and the penguin's like, I'm not going to have any of this, and he walks away, and then he hears the splash of the seal going in. And he's like, oh no, and he's kind of torn whether he should go in. But anyway, that whole thing was scrapped because it was just way too much work.
Oh, okay. Animation-wise?
Yeah, animation-wise, like this, like.
Do you mean getting it in time for your final project?
Basically, my tutor was like, oh yeah, you should change it, but when you're like popular, do this one.
Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha. When
you've got the time and everything.
Yeah. Okay, I see. When you have the money and time to support. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. But the story itself, I kind of wanted to leave it open ended. I didn't want to spoon feed the audience the whole story. It's like, oh yeah, it's all happy endings and whatnot.
That's good storytelling. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? The guy, I think it was the guy who wrote the story for Toy Story. It was like. Give the audience 2 + 2, but not 4.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so like don't give them the whole thing, and you know
like kind of lead them on to a certain direction, and then like let them decide the outcome of what could happen.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's interesting.
When I was watching it, actually, I thought it was completely unintentional, but I was thinking another way to interpret it is when they're on top of the cliff and they both fall off. It could have ended there, and it would have been very bad to end there.
Yeah, the penguin falling down. I mean, he went head first into the ground there.
Yeah, I know, but at that point we're disregarding any actual reality there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's actually when I showed the film to other people, the part with the penguin falling into the ground, that's what people like really got a laugh out of. Like,
yeah, I noticed that too.
I thought that was pretty funny. I mean, the rest of the film's adorable in its own way. Like it's kind of just like, oh, a stupid seal kind of, or but they seem to laugh at that more than anything, which I thought was pretty cool anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, the personalities you gave them too was pretty interesting too.
The penguin started off as like an illustration, and he went through loads of different stages, but every one that I drew, he had this like upside down smile.
Yeah, you showed me, I think in the animatic that you originally sent me, that had a every single one of them had the grumpy like upside down U, like totally just like way too grumpy.
yeah, exactly. It's like his beak. I wanted at the end to try to make him smile, but
yeah,
it didn't work at all. There was no way I could pull it off. So I thought, well, I'll just make him like lift his face up a little bit.
No, I thought that was perfect. I mean, I think a huge transition would have been like, just like, okay, this is a little weird.
Yeah, if it just turns into like a right way up you. Jesus.
No, dude, I think you nailed it. Yeah, seriously, just like going above his eyes.
Oh, thank God I didn't do that.
Yeah, that. I mean, it would have just changed the film entirely.
Yeah, exactly. Put a little bit of horror music at the end, and yeah, you've got a sinister ending.
Oh my gosh, the psycho music just going over that. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, but when I said about them falling off the cliff, I was thinking the rest of the animation, it could be almost the afterlife, and them crossing the water is almost them passing over.
Yeah, that's another thing actually. Because that is cool actually. I was gonna say, I saw the last part with the credits where the seal and the penguin are both swimming.
Yeah.
And I kind of just thought like, oh, they didn't make it, you know?
Uh-huh.
I kind of just thought that they didn't, the iceberg just sank or broke apart or something and they're underwater now. That was kind of my interpretation or whatever. I mean, I guess you left it open for whatever.
The thing was, it was going to end there, and it was going to be a slower zoom out, and that was going to be it. There was going to be credits, and then it would fade to white or black. But I think I was in uni one day, and I thought, right, I've finished everything. It just needs rendering. So while everything was rendering on the farm, I just took these models, and the seal, like, I spent so long making these rigs, and I was thinking to myself, you know what I want to do? I want to kind of animate them underwater. So I just like had them twirl around and do this little like.
You just wanted to see what it was like.
Yeah, I've always wanted to try to do it underwater, and then it became this thing. I was like, oh, I want to use that. How can I use that?
I think that was actually probably one of my favorite seal animations, like throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, underwater.
That and when he's sliding down the cliff, actually.
Yeah. It's good because they're the bits that took the most work. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So the sounds. I'm curious. Do you have any like thing in the entire film that's like you have no idea how
it happened?
Yeah.
How you got that? I was curious about how you got the beak against the ice. It was always cute, like when he pushes the ice, that little clink noise.
The seal pushing it or the penguin pushing
yeah.
it. Okay, yeah, that was I actually got a glass bottle, an empty glass bottle that I found in the recycling. Yeah, and I hit my palm against the bottom of it.
Oh, really?
And it made like a thunk kind of sound. And then I layered that with another of the same sound, like, and I just lowered the pitch of it so it kind of gave like a little bit of low end to it to fill it out a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And along with that, I also took the a similar sound to like the penguin when he pushes when the seal pushes the penguin earlier, that big like thud that happens. Like I took that also with it.
Because I was imagining you with like a glass on a table and just you poking it across with a microphone right there.
Actually, I found a seal and a penguin, and I found this chunk of ice, and I deserted them in the middle of a snowy like.
No way.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
Jesus,
true story.
You went above and beyond for this project.
Dude, all in one day. All in one day. In addition to what I said earlier with the penguin sounds, like how I said the flapping, like I used
the rubber glove,
the rubber glove and all that. I mean, in actuality, those aren't sounds that I guess you would really hear like in a real film.
No, that's right.
Absolutely, like, and that's what a lot of sound design is. You want to try and do. You want to just pretty much do sounds that aren't there. A lot of the time, just like do pretend sounds, like what you imagine those things to look like. So like in my head, they look kind of like floppy and like a little bit like blubbery, a little bit. The penguin's movements anyway. So if you just kind of if you can kind of create the sound of what that would look like or to match it, then it'll come to life in that way, and it'll create sort of that like, kind of image for the penguin in this case.
If you had if you actually went out and recorded a penguin doing exactly the same movements, it wouldn't sound as good.
That's the other thing. Yeah, I mean, and it's also because it's an animated film. Like, you don't need it to be real. It'd be boring if you just did like all like super realistic.
Yeah.
Like, it would just be like, oh, okay, so that's nice. But yeah, a lot of the times it's just sounds that would never be there. I mean, I actually didn't do this, but you did this. You added an extra sound in the film, I noticed.
Is that the zoom out?
The zoom out, yes. Yeah. You added the whoosh in there. You added a whoosh in there, and it kind of just like, it immersed it a little bit more. Like, made you feel like you're like moving backwards rather than just like a camera moving out.
Yeah, I was wondering what you think about that, because it like sound was all you, but then I was like, ooh, what about this?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. You're making me look bad, man. No, I mean, honestly, this was just like a huge learning experience. Like, every time I do these sounds, it's just like I learn something new every time. Like the penguin, like with his movements, was the biggest one for me here, I think. And a lot of it is just experimentation, because like, for example, the sound of the iceberg moving. Like the water movement and stuff. That was, I went to my public pool, and I grabbed a.
God.
Dude, I swear I'm like the cheapest sound designer and musician in the entire world.
I heard you about, was it in Walmart or something?
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. I went to Target. We recorded every single one. If Kyle's listening, hey.
So what'd you do with this public pool?
Okay, the public pool. Okay, no one was there, luckily, so I didn't have a lot of background noise. But basically, I took a bucket, like just a sand bucket, whatever, one that you would have for the beach, and I had my sister hold me back by my belt so I wouldn't fall in the pool, and I was hanging over the edge and running sideways across the water while the bucket was like pulling the water, and that made the like sloshing sound of the thing moving.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, but the pool was too short, and I wouldn't have been able to get the sound if I wasn't moving fast enough. So every time that I was moving across the pool, it would take me like 5 seconds, and the entire clip was like 15-20 seconds, I think. Yeah. I don't know the exact times, but the point is, it was like too short for everything. Mm-hmm. So that's another thing that I learned, because you can actually take a bunch of the same sound over and over again, and you can actually crossfade them. I don't know if you know what that means, but it's basically just like automating the volume so that they kind of go into each other and level out at the end. So you can basically combine a bunch of the same sounds and make it sound like all just one big take.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that was pretty interesting. I thought that it worked out very well, luckily.
Yeah.
Another thing. In terms of sound, I don't think I reused a single sound in this entire thing.
Did you not?
Yeah, that's another thing. Like if you reuse the same sounds, people won't notice. They won't think, oh, that's the same sound, but it'll start to get repetitive and annoying for them.
Right.
It's kind of interesting, I guess. I don't know. What were your overall thoughts on the entire project and everything?
Well, as far as sound goes, you were a lifesaver.
Oh, thank you.
100%.
I wasn't fishing, but thank you. I just meant everything. How did your expectations from the beginning? How did that change?
It's so tricky because this was a whole year. Starting it and ending it was a whole year, and we had other projects. So
wait, so you've been working on this for a year then?
Almost, yeah.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Because this was our final year. As well as this, we had other projects, but it's funny because the seal was quite cartoony as well to start with. He was more circular, and instead of having flippers, he had 3 tiny flippers. And
interesting.
As a 2D illustration, it didn't really translate, whereas the penguin did. I wanted to keep the penguin exactly as he looked when I drew him. The environment, I knew it was going to be sparse, so I just had time to do the animation. And as far as sound goes, I had the basics there, but it wouldn't have been anything if it wasn't for that last day. And you were just yep, I'll be here.
Dude, don't stop. Everyone's going to be oh, Ryan just got this guy on here to gloat about it.
No, it was because it was the last day, the day beforehand, and I had no sound.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing. I think I had the wind blowing and stuff, but that was it.
Okay, well, I thank you for the compliments. I do appreciate it, and I'm glad that it worked out for you in the end.
Yeah, it did. It was great.
So, what else is going to be done with this then?
It's going to be. I'm wanting to submit it to more festivals.
Yeah.
And I went into uni today actually before my graduation soon, but I went into uni and I got the files. So I'm thinking of even doing either a sequel or using these models in something else, because you spend the whole project and you have to model them, you have to rig them and all this jazz. And that's half of the year spent just doing that. So if I was to reuse them, I could get another one out within half the amount of time.
Right, because all the models are done.
Yeah.
Not as much planning, I guess.
And I'm wanting to continue on the journey and see what happens and where they go. And
you did everything by yourself, didn't you?
I had a guy help me with the lighting. He basically set it up, and then from there I just tweaked it a little bit. The environment, I had another classmate help me because he liked rendering stuff and getting textures right, whereas I like just animating. So in trade for him doing the environment for me, I animated one of his characters climbing up a cliff, which was incredibly difficult.
Oh my goodness.
I could have done the environment, but I just didn't have time, so I just had to manage that.
Yeah.
And the same with sounds. I really didn't have the manpower or anything to do it.
That's crazy, man.
Pretty much everything. I had to model and texture, except for the ice cube. The ice cube, I think I just gave my mate. I said, right, I want it to look like this. Do it.
Yeah.
Make it look like this. It wasn't too tricky because it's really basic. The backgrounds I whipped up in 2 seconds on Photoshop with a brush, just making those kind of pastel-y backgrounds.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. We watched it in a cinema, and the quality of the sound is incredible. People who had made their soundtrack in After Effects and turn it down to, I think, minus 48 decibels, which is what it will go down normally if you just slide it down.
Yeah.
It will go down further, but I think minus 48 does the trick. But for the people who had done that, it kept on playing the soundtrack all the way through.
What? Oh.
In the cinema, if you watched it on a computer or anything, you wouldn't hear it. But the cinema, it was the sound was just so good that you could pick it up even faintly.
That's interesting.
So when it came to mine, I was like, "Oh God, is there going to be anything wrong?" And then after, I was like, "Of course there wasn't."
Oh man, Yeah, I actually the sounds I gave you the music and it actually went a little bit longer, like just a second longer. I wasn't sure. Did you notice that at all, or
Was it with the seal, or which
it was
bit
at the
was it?
very end, the very last scene?
I think I tweaked that actually.
You did? Okay.
I think I did.
I guess I didn't notice it. Okay, I mean that's fine. I don't even care. It's
I'm messing with your sound.
Yeah,
I think
dude.
that was what's great because I don't know whether you were expecting me to just like.
Oh, I didn't really care because I
if
figured you were going to be
fiddled
making
with it.
You mentioned that you were going to be making changes throughout. Like you said that you wanted like the individual files so that you could mess with your stuff.
Yeah, but that
all
would have been a lot.
yeah. Oh, totally. I mean, how many sounds there were? I mean, anything else? Do you have anything to say that you want to add or anything? Or
No, I think that's pretty much it, really.
yeah. I mean, I bet we could go on for another hour, but
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right. Well, cool, man. Thank you for doing this with me. It was a lot of fun doing the project, and I'll if you guys want to check out James and Beavermedia, you can actually watch the film down in the description below, and check out his Facebook page. He does some unique stuff on his Facebook too. I'll link all of his channel stuff below.
Oh, I do try.
he has some really cool content down there. So yeah, just check it all out. Not that there are a lot of subscribers at the time, but or anyone watching, but yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone, and thank you, James.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. All right. See ya.
Yeah, see you later.